How long were you a trainee for?
My math is really bad. So technically like 6th, 7th grade
11,
till 11, 12, right? Till 22,
20, 22.
11 years, yeah.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, 10, 11 years. Because I got dropped right after college, essentially. Like 22, 23.
What made you what kept you going for so long? Why were you so committed to being a trainee?
Because my dream to become a singer was when I was like 5, when I lived in Jersey. And I remember at that time, no one in America, because I'm American, I'm Korean American, and I lived in Jersey, and no one looked like me. The pop stars I liked, you know, like Britney Spears or NSYNC, you know. So the only place or country where they had singers that looked like me was Korea. So, and I knew the language, and I'm Korean. So that's why I felt like the only place I could be Beyonce would be Korea. But yeah, sorry, the audacity I have. But yeah, it was Korea. So went there, and I also loved K-pop, and K-pop idols, and they were kind of what I wanted to be. So that's why.
So there was no other option in a sense. This is what you knew. This is what you were going to be.
Yeah, truly. Singer means K-pop idol was just what I thought. And so honestly, the reason why it took forever though is, to be honest, like, it's because I also took my studies really seriously. My family was like, and I also, I don't know how I knew this as a kid, but like, I feel like I was more mature then. But I was like, K-pop idol isn't forever. Like, I want to do something after. And I knew a college education was important for that. So I focused also in my studies. And so I would take breaks from SM where I focus on studying. I remember I took a break for like 2 years where during school time, I would be at school. And then summer vacation is when I would train at SM. Same with college. Every time it's a break time, I would come to SM.
How long was a break time like consist of?
Same as America, because I went to an American school in
it.
Korea. So same thing, like 3 months summer vacation.
Did you have a social life while you were a trainee?
Hell no. Definitely not. But because of that, because my grades were I was failing, like my grades were so bad during like high school, and that's like an important time, SATs. So
yeah, it is.
I got Korean ass parents, so they were like, you need to get straight A's and stuff. So I had to study, and I remember that was an important time where I barely trained. So I think I had more of a personal life then because I, became I was part of the cheerleading team.
Oh, wow.
I was the leader, my dance team. I was dance team leader, captain. And for my junior and senior year, I think. Senior year? I don't remember. But yes, I did that, and I'm really grateful for that though. I think that made me realize how life is important, like your normal life, having friends and being able to stay after school was like such a moment for me. Like everyone's like, oh, you want to stay after school? For me, staying after school was like heaven in my ears when I hear that. And I was like, and that I could do that. So when I was training at SM, definitely did not have a personal life.
Were y'all friends with other trainees? Was that like a thing, or is it more like competition?
I didn't feel competition, but definitely I was friends. We couldn't really talk to the boys because we were kind of separated a lot of times. But yeah, absolutely. Girl Generation, hell yeah, they were my friends. And like FX, I trained with them. And Shiny was when I trained with Shiny. A little bit of EXO, only one member. And yeah, that's it for me. Oh, Super Junior, another one.
So you were a trainee for 11 years, you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And there came a point where your dream of being a K-pop idol was kind of taken away from. Well, it wasn't kind of, it was taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to me about that day and how you were feeling?
Oh, I think it was like right after I graduated. I did more training focused on, and it was like, I was like 21, right? 2021. And I trained for like 2 more years until there was a evaluation of will I debut or not? Will I debut or not? And that was kind of everyone's question if you're a trainee. Because there's a lot of trainees I trained with at SM who haven't debuted. So like yeah, I think those 2 years after college was really important. And all that rigorous training. Also like I had to go on diets and stuff. So but that was also when I also
What do you was that like something that was given to you, or is that like your choice?
it was just kind of an unspoken rule. If you want to be anything in entertainment business, you had to be a certain look. Yeah,
It's very true.
especially SM.
Yeah.
Yeah, SM was very much visual focus as well, but that's what SM was known for too.
It's
Visuals.
it's my understanding that the world of K-pop idols,
Hmm.
a lot of people ask. Okay, I feel like it kind of comes from taking the concepts of like the boy band days and the Backstreet Boys days,
Hmm.
and then instead of forming a group, training people when they're younger to like fit a mold in a group. So kind of like being an athlete in a sense, like you're like working towards kind of being a position
Yeah,
on like a
literally. Oh,
team.
it's literally like the running back.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what it is.
When you say visual, what does that mean in a group?
In a group, they have to visually be looking good together. Also, visually, just literally be good looking.
Got it.
And also, but within that, like, so there's something called the cheerleader effect, right? So like, one person might not be the best singer but a good dancer. One person might be more visually appealing but not the best at singing or dancing, and they're focused on acting, you know. Or one person is a really good singer but not the best dancer. So like when you have a cheerleading effect, it kind of like it makes them look really all beautiful and all talented
And
put together.
cohesive.
Exactly,
Yeah,
cohesive,
that
because they
makes
fill
sense.
each other's like whatever
Their
parts.
strengths fill each other's weaknesses.
Literally, yeah,
that
exactly.
makes sense.
So that's kind of what a lot of the K-pop systems focused on, and that's something that SM was really good at too. There aren't many solo artists, if you haven't noticed. Solo artists is hard because you have to be good at everything, right? So when you have a cheerleading effect, it kind of you have more room, right? In a way,
It's interesting. Do you
like
feel like the it's changing though at all, or do you think that if you want to be a solo artist, it's still very difficult to do that
I
in the
think
industry?
it's I don't know about solo. I think K-pop right now has become a little bit more focused on groups.
Very true.
I think they perfected it, truly. I think back in the day there were more K-pop solo artists. I'm not gonna lie, and the groups weren't like so cohesive back then. I would say, but I think they have perfected the system a little bit more. Now it's more focused on having the whole package, whether it be singing, dancing, visually, being cohesive, look,
The leader.
the style,
Yeah.
and even the leader. Like everyone should be visually good too. And what do you call? Also, like another thing, dancing has to be great too. You don't have to be the best dancer, but as long as you guys dance cohesively together, it's much more important. Another thing about K-pop is like you have to have choreography just like the song, like a hooky choreography, so everyone can dance to. That's the beauty of K-pop, is that you can dance to these songs.
But some of the like the choreography is like much more difficult in like a lot of capacities.
100%. But I do think that boy bands and girl bands are a little different. Boy bands, they want to be able to show that athleticism because that's like attractive. So when you have really hard choreography, it's more attractive. They attract more fans.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then for girl groups, it's not gonna lie, it's like very focused on not just singing, but like the visual aspect of it, and also dances that are a little bit like everybody can dance to. Yeah, I would say it's more package focused. Girl, I don't write from boy bands that much. It's more girl groups. If you see my discography, yeah, and it's very different, I would say.
I do think that one of the most important parts, inspiring parts of your story is getting dropped and where that led you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you've kind of talked about it, but I want to go into
Let's
a
go
bit more
into it.
detail about.
I have ADD, so sorry. But yeah.
I've heard you kind of say this, but did the day that you got dropped, was there ever a point before then where it was like looking like potentially that you would be able to move to the next stage of pre-debuting throughout those 11 years?
There was a period when I was supposed to kind of debut, or I was like being talked about it, which was during college, my freshman year, and I was supposed to be in a girl group, 3 girl group, ironically with Huntrix, 3 girls too, and be the lead vocalist with 2 other girls, but it was supposed to be a ballad girl group,
Interesting.
so focused on singing. And again, like I said, visual is very important. So height is another thing, right? Visually, dancing, you can't have one person who's tall and then like other ones who's like way shorter than you, and it doesn't look cohesive. So they had to find girls who matched my height, and I'm quite tall, like 5'8", and so like I was literally the tallest girl and kind of person when I was a trainee. I'm not gonna lie, the guys were smaller, tall, like shorter than me. So I remember they found like a Japanese and a Chinese girl that were at my height and who can sing apparently, but I never got to meet them. I was at NYU and I was like, no, I want to continue my studies and I also want to be a solo artist. That was my young brain speaking. But yeah, I think that's kind of where I had the chance, but I didn't choose to go that route. And I wanted to graduate, to be honest, too. And
But you stayed as a trainee after that?
I wanted to finish my studies. And again, after that moment, 3-4 years of college, I graduated early, a little early. And, to do that, I had to like do summer classes too. So I couldn't really train too much. So after I graduated, I focused on training for 2 more years. So I graduated like 2021 when I was 20 or 2021 and trained till I was 23, 24. And that's when the evaluation happened, where I thought I was able to debut again as a solo artist maybe this time. I'm like, hey, like, because that's during college, actually after college, I'm not gonna lie, I fell in love with the SoundCloud scene and I started making beats. Went to dubstep school, learned how to use Ableton
And this school was in
Logic.
like a cafe, right?
Sorry?
The school was in a cafe.
No, it is.
You would go.
Which
I
one?
heard that you would go to a cafe
Oh,
from like
oh, oh, oh.
3 p.m. to. Did you go to a dubstep school?
No, dubstep is a name of a school. It was a program. Sam knows this. Yeah. After college, actually.
Got it.
I didn't do it during college, which is stupid. But after, like, they would teach me like the basics of how to use Ableton and Logic. And then with that knowledge, I would go to the cafe every single day to work on it. But the thing is, that was when I was still training too, right? So I would like, for example, like Taylor Swift, Bad Blood, I would make my own R&B rendition of it and make a beat. And that's how I would practice.
So you would take the vocals of like Taylor Swift and then you would make a beat to it?
No,
that's,
I
like,
would
different?
sing the vocals.
In the cafe?
No, I would finish the beat in the cafe and then go home and record
it.
the vocals. But I would figure out my beat first, and it was a completely different song, like a very R&B version. Like it doesn't even sound like Bad Blood.
And you
at
posted
all.
these,
I
right?
didn't. It was for
Okay.
my own sake because I couldn't post anything. It was not. I wasn't allowed to. So I would like kind of write my own songs, but I didn't do that. I focused on beat making.
Even though they were covers, you weren't allowed to post
I
them?
wasn't allowed to post anything because I'm a trainee.
Even like you can't have social media even, right?
No. Like rarely,
Wow.
like maybe pictures here and there, but you couldn't like do piercings, have tattoos. Like it was a whole thing. But like I would again make beats. I would go to like shows like K Tronada, Shlomo,
Yeah.
and like Taku was I was a huge fan of Taku, still am. Sango, Black Bear. During those times, like what is her name? Banks.
Yeah.
Huge fan of her too, and I kind of was figuring out my beat sound, and that's when I came into SM and I showed them my beats, and I sonically was so different from them that's where we also clashed. And I was really old and my singing wasn't that great because they kind of try to change my voice, and they like more of a clean voice than I have a husky lower tone. And so
Clean. When you say clean, what do you mean by clean exactly? Does that mean like higher based on you saying you have a lower
like
tone?
literally people who don't really have a raspy, like I would say a clean voice is like Ariana Grande. That's like the ideal voice.
Got it.
At SM, having a clean like I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah. But like that's kind of like the goal main brand of SM, I would say. and I didn't really fit that essentially. And again, I was kind of not that good enough to be a solo artist in their opinion, and also too old to be part of a girl group. And so it was kind of like this what am I kind of thing, and that's when I got dropped. I wasn't that good at singing.
What does getting dropped mean in the K-pop world?
Exterminating the contract. Is that what is that?
Got
Yeah,
it.
not exterminating. What's the word? What's the word?
Terminating.
Sorry, exterminating. That sounds even worse. Terminating the contract. Goodness. Yeah, we had a meeting after. So what I would train, and I would record my voice, sing a cover song and do a dance cover, and take photos of myself, like a portfolio, and then send it off essentially for the A&Rs and all the head people of SM to watch and have a meeting with. And I would not train for a week, and they would come back to me after a week to tell me if I made it or not, essentially. That was a nerve-wracking moment. And I had the meeting, and essentially they said, we decided to not continue and to terminate the contract. Yeah, that was kind of where it happened.